To the Big 12, a former assistant at Texas before taking the Hurricanes job 7 years ago. Haith was hired Monday by the University of Missouri. VCU says basketball coach Shaka Smart is staying with the Rams after leading them to the Final Four. He agreed to a new contract with the school. Magic playoff tickets go on sale this morning. The Magic, losers of 3 of their last 4 games, will host the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. It's a 7 o'clock tip. Dan Uggla's tie-breaking homer in the 8th lifted the Braves over the Brewers 2-1. That's your sports update. I'm Tom Morgan on your Gator Nation station, 540 WFLA.
BHL. Wake up and stand up for what's right. 540 WFLA presents the 50,000-watt front porch. And another hour of Bud Hediger Live.
Great to be back with you. Big storms moving our way. Stay with me. We'll keep you up to date here. And I want to thank Simon Conway and Cale Raymaker for filling in for me while I got out to California to party hardy with some dear old friends of mine and to help a dear friend of mine do something truly extraordinary, the likes of which I have never seen before. Some material that speaks to all of that has now been put up by the lovely Jenna on the Bud page at 540WFLA.com. We'll talk more about it a little bit later on here, but good to be back with Jenna and Jeff and with you this morning. But while I'm away, this story comes to a head that doesn't have anybody in it that I like and respect. Nobody. Nobody. First of all, I've never been a fan of burning books. I can't stop thinking about all of that in Nazi Germany when I think of the burning of the books. It just has a horrible association that dates all the way back to that. I understand the First Amendment and certainly the right to do that. If you can burn the flag, you can burn a book. That's all fine. This Pastor Terry Jones up in Gainesville at this small and getting smaller and pathetic little church, the Dove World Outreach or whatever it is, the Dove World Outreach Center. You know, he was going to burn the Korans, and then there was all of this hue and cry, and then he backed off it last year in the anniversary of 9/11, and now it's come to light that he burned a Koran at the end of March, and a Koran, okay, because he wants to make a statement about radical Islam, and I'm with him on radical Islam. It is the scourge of the earth. There is no question about it, and we talk about it a lot on this program. Most Muslims are good, peace-loving people, no more prone to acts of violence than you and I are, and you will never make me believe otherwise. Okay? I mean, otherwise, if that were not true with our Muslim population here, we would have domestic terrorist attacks engineered by Muslims going on every single doggone day and night. But Terry Jones just seems to me to be a combination of just a hateful guy who happens to be a publicity hound, got his 15 minutes of fame, and it was like a drug for him last year, and he decided he needed another shot. So he burns this Koran. And Mohammed Karzai, this guy's supposed to be our friend, the head of Afghanistan. He goes on television. Are we supposed to be working with him to save his country from the Taliban and Al-Qaeda? Yeah, really. The more you realize who this guy is and what he's all about, the more you have to legitimately question how long we should continue to put our troops in harm's way for a Karzai regime in Afghanistan. He goes on television. His people have no idea. In that country that's among the poorest, they have limited communication. But they have some radios, they have some TVs. He goes on the main media over in Afghanistan, and he does a speech all about the burning of a Koran in Gainesville, Florida. And all of a sudden there is rioting, and people are dying. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever the number is you happen to read. It varies in every report I have seen. People are dying over there who have no connection to Terry Jones, no connection to the United States, no connection to anything. It is just irrational, radical Islamist fanaticism Irrational. Irrational. People are dying there. Now you got General David Petraeus, who's in the middle of this, and he's denouncing Terry Jones. And I understand that. Very selfish of Terry Jones. Whether he intends to or not, he understands, and he's been asked directly about this. Do you have a problem with the idea that American troops may die? He says, yes, I do, but this statement needs to be made, and it is worth it, even if it's the lives of American troops. Well, it is not worth it, Terry Jones. It is not worth it. You are a hateful, hate-filled publicity hound with some kind of an ego that needs to be fed in this sick and twisted way. I've got all kinds of problems with radical Islam, but this is not the way to approach it. And just to let you know how dangerous this movement is that is the scourge of the earth, radical Islam, look at how they react to one pastor in one tiny little church in Gainesville, Florida, half a world away. Somebody burns a Bible in, I don't know, Iran. Are we going to have Christians burning and killing here in America? It just lets you know how sick and twisted the radical portion of the Muslim faith is. What an unbelievable situation. You know, this is a story with nobody associated with it for which I have an ounce of respect. The radical Islamic nutcases, the president of Afghanistan who gives the word about the burning of a single Koran at the hands of this Central Florida pastor with almost no remaining followers. I wouldn't give you 3 cents for the lot of them. And I'd give you barely more than that for Muammar Gaddafi. What's going on in Libya? You're about to find out, because we're heading to the Middle East live as BHL continues. Good morning at 7:12. Real-time traffic and weather together on the twos.
From the David Moss Volkswagen Lee Road Traffic Center, just starting to see some busy traffic build up now westbound along I-4 approaching 436, but we are still moving very well along the interstate so far this morning. The 408 is checking in delay free. 528 also moving along well and no delays in either direction of the Greenway or the Turnpike. There are reports of traffic lights out along Colonial Drive in between Lake Pickett Road and the 408. Be sure to use some extra caution and expect some slower traffic through this area. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bright.
From 540 WFLA, Orlando's 24-hour weather channel, a strong cold front moving in from the north this morning could trigger severe thunderstorms, including the threat for hail, damaging wind, and isolated tornadoes. We should be clearing out this evening, lows tonight at 53. Weather updated around the clock on 540 WFLA. I'm David Maddox at the Weather Channel.
Good morning, I'm Michelle Murillo. Coming up in your 7:30 news, severe weather moving into Central Florida. It seems a local restaurant was serving more than just food, and the governor looking to cut over $4 million from the Crime Stoppers Trust Fund.
Hey, I have a great idea for your next lunch or dinner out. Hula Hands. Hula Hands is an Orlando tradition Linda and I have just fallen in love with. If you want great food and plenty of it made from scratch at a great price with friendly service and a warm, inviting atmosphere, Hula Hands is where you need to be. From the New York strip steak, big, tender, and delicious that I had last time we were at Hula Hands, all done to perfection over a wood-fired grill, to the buffalo chicken sandwich that Lynn loves, Hula Hands has something to please every single taste and guaranteed to please your wallet. As they say, Hula Hands is where filet mignon meets truck stop fries. Something for everybody. And now Hula Hands is an amazing new menu of 30 small plates from just $3 a piece. We're talking about flatbreads and sliders, kebabs. Oh, it's great. And Hula Hands with the best happy hour in town. It's always 2 for 1. Always at Hula Hands. Hula Hands, 4 locations, 192 in Kissimmee, University Boulevard near UCF, East Colonial and I Drive. Online, hulahands.com. Hey, how about lunch or dinner today at Hula Hands?
Traffic on air online brought to you by Seminole Hard Rock and Casino. We've just opened the only Hard Rock Cafe in the world with gambling. Plus, we raised the bar with a bigger, better poker room. It's a whole new sensation. Get yourself a front row seat. Seminole Hard Rock Tampa. Play hard.
Mortgage payments too high? Fearing foreclosure? Not sure about the legalities? The Home Mortgage Law Show, presented by the law firm of Morris, DuPont in Mansfield, PA, answers all your questions live every Saturday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on 540 WFLA.
Mortgage rates are as low as 3.125%, 3.4% APR. Go to LendingTree.com today, where refinance customers save an average of $293 a month or more. Click or call 1-800-555-8733 to find out how much you can save today. That's 1-800-555-8733.
6:30 a.m. I am Bob Daniels, husband to Lisa, father to Mark and Emily. Every morning at 7:12 a.m., I climb into my Nissan NV work van and become Bob, owner of a painting business. But at 7:46 a.m., I become Bob the caterer, picking up donuts for my crew. The NV's many cup holders secure the coffee. While my guys eat, I pull my laptop out of the center console and plug it into the 120-volt outlet. I run the numbers on the current job, and we're on budget, and I'm Bob the happy accountant. Around 8:12 a.m., I'm Bob the warehouse manager, checking my supplies in the back of the NV. And at 8:29 a.m., I start the job. I dip my roller in a tray and lay down the first coat. Finally, I'm Bob the painter.
You wear more than one hat. That's why the all-new Nissan NV lineup is more than a van. Nissan Commercial Vehicles. Innovation that works. Innovation for all. Learn more at nissancommercialvehicles.com.
Hey, boss, have you seen that TV commercial with the National Alarm Company? You know, the one where the home gets broken into with the mom and daughter at home?
Oh, yeah, that guy's a creep.
Yeah. Hey, but did you notice that instead of calling the police, the alarm company calls the lady instead?
Oh, yeah. Her and her daughter could have been killed while she was talking to the operator.
Yeah, I know. Now, if they had Safe Touch, the two-way communicator would have let the operator hear what was going on, and they'd have called the police right away.
You know, I was in a fine mood until you mentioned Safe Touch.
Yeah, well, you're not going to like this, boss. The latest edition of the Crooks R Us newsletter said the average response time for Safe Touch monitoring is 14 seconds.
14? Oh, I hate Safe Touch!
That's right, our Safe Touch two-way communicator saves lives and prevents property loss every day. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, owner of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one, and I mean no one, protects your family better than Safe Touch. So call Safe Touch today. Systems and monitoring are still less than $1 a day.
Call 407-331-0335 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Hey, Dr. Ken Kronhaus at Lake Cardiology, my heart doctor, who saved me with a cutting-edge heart scan that he pioneered in Central Florida. He calls it the Bud Scan in my honor, has saved thousands of lives of my listeners who've listened to me and gotten on the phone to his practice, Lake Cardiology, and asked the good folks who work with Dr. K if this Bud Scan might be right for them. It's an amazing heart scan that lets Dr. Kronhaus and his staff see inside your heart almost as though they'd taken it out of your chest and were able to hold it in their hand, but they don't have to do that. It is a simple scan. Nothing to fear. It's an absolute piece of cake. And in many cases, it will reveal problems with your heart that other tests do not. And if you don't have symptoms of heart trouble, don't think that you're not necessarily in trouble. That would have been my situation. No chest pain, no shortness of breath, and developing blockages for which I had no symptoms in 3 coronary arteries, revealed only by Dr. K's Bud Scan. ICACTL, the commission that sets the standard for quality care and heart CT scanning, has designated Lake Cardiology, home of Dr. K, the first and only medical facility in all of Central Florida they accredit for CT scanning of the heart. How about we stop fooling around today? For you or someone you love, you may be worried about their heart situation, call Lake Cardiology. Use this number and tell them the Bud Man sent you. Just ask them if the Bud Scan might be right for you. Could save your life. 352-735-1400. 352-735-1400.
A distinguished person.
It's the Bud Man.
A well-known authority.
Call now. 407-916-5400. Toll free. 866-916-5400.
No shortage of fresh and concerning news out of Libya, where the drama continues to unfold and how all of this resolves with Gaddafi and the allied forces, etc., and the U.S. role or lack thereof. It all remains to be seen. But on the scene in the Middle East following it all, once again, we are joined by Fox News reporter Courtney Keeley. Welcome back to Bud Hedinger Live. Good morning to you.
Hey, good morning.
What's the latest?
The latest is the stalemate continues in Libya. NATO has definitely taken charge of the airstrikes. The rebel fighters are not able to gain any real ground. Gaddafi is still holding on to power. Diplomacy happening with one of his envoys in places like Turkey and Malta seems to have hit an impasse. And the Brits are questioning and talking to Musa Kusa, one of his top closest allies that defected last week, but his sons are trying to discredit Musa Kusa as well.
Now, what I understand, Courtney, is that within Libya, people who are speaking supposedly for Gaddafi are saying, you know what, we're open to all kinds of reforms here, but Gaddafi has to stay. Where do we stand on that?
I don't think that's even on the table for the Libyans that want a regime change. I think that, especially internationally, everyone wants the Libyans to be able to own this regime change despite how much help they've needed from the international community. But it's quite clear that Gaddafi, as in the words of Ronald Reagan, is the mad dog of the Middle East and he's in North Africa. I don't think that there's going to be any resolution if he continues to stay.
And the U.S. has now withdrawn its fighter jets from the international air campaign there. They've pulled back, available if they are needed. Is there a sense of whether or not the coalition, without the U.S. on the front lines of this in the air, is going to be able to win the day for the rebels against Gaddafi's forces?
I don't know if you're going to be able to help the rebels win, but you are helping the rebels keep at least the fighters, the Gaddafi forces, from running roughshod over all of the east and creating more civilian casualties than they've already had.
I understand.
The idea is to keep, if Gaddafi's forces start to mobilize down that desert road and get any closer to the population center, the major population center of Benghazi, French, British fighter jets taking the lead, along with jets from countries like Qatar and the UAE, will be able to keep those Gaddafi forces at bay, providing backup. But it doesn't. I still think there's going to have to be some political or diplomatic solution, because without an all-out war, you can't arm, fund, train the rebels who don't really know how to fight to help them win, and it doesn't look like they're...
Thank you for the latest on Libya. From overseas, Fox News reporter Courtney Keeley. Always a pleasure to have you join us. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
You bet. I want to go back to the situation with this burning of the Koran here in Gainesville by this Pastor Terry Jones, and this unbelievable reaction in the radical Islamic world. As we continue, we will. It's 7:22 here on BHL. Real-time traffic and weather together on the twos now.
From the David Moss Volkswagen Lee Road Traffic Center, seeing that busy traffic build up westbound along I-4 between 434 and Maitland Boulevard. Also picking up that busy volume eastbound along the interstate, just east of the 408 as you make your way through downtown. Reports of traffic lights out along Colonial Drive in between Lake Pickett Road and the 408 to expect delays through this area. And a possible slowdown with a reported wreck along Central Florida Parkway at John Young Parkway. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bright.
All right, Courtney, thank you. We're looking at showers and thunderstorms. Some of them may be severe. The high today, 73, right now 72. And this bulletin news is in now from our friends at the Weather Channel. There are a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings for the Central Florida area until 8 o'clock. One of them for Sumter County, the other for Flagler County. And I have Doppler radar in time-lapse dialed up, so we're going to be able to keep things... keep the latest information flowing to you here on BHL, and you can see a line of red that leads an area of lesser intensity with rainfall now beginning to move down from the north and extends out into the Gulf, and it's getting close to the Tampa Bay area, and we're also getting very close now to a situation in which we are going to see some severe thunderstorms in Sumter County, in parts of northern Lake County, Marion County. It's not at all far from Ocala right now as I see it, and to the northeast also in Flagler County. And all of this is just kind of sliding down through here, so there's no way we get off the hook. The issue is what's the level of intensity when it hits where you are. But it looks like we'll get through most of the rush hour in Metro Orlando without without the severe storms. But for you folks who are north and west of here, again, you'll get it before anybody else. And with weather and traffic on the twos, you're never far from the very latest information here, all live on Bud Hedinger Live on 540 WFLA. When you look at this situation with Terry Jones, the pastor of this Dove World Outreach Church, with virtually no membership left by his own admission and death threats coming in all over the place, which is really not defensible. How do you see this? I mean, is there anyone who is out there saying, go get him, Terry Jones. You've got it right on radical Islam. Oh, he's got it right in what he thinks about radical Islam. There's no doubt about that. But I don't support the burning of books, period. I don't support the burning of Dr. Seuss books. I don't support the burning of any books. I don't like it. Holy books, least of all. There was some Muslim who was talking and saying, well, you don't understand that this is much more offensive because it's the Quran than if it is the Bible, because this really is the Word of God. To Christians and Jews, the Bible is the sacred Word of God, too. And we don't react this way. If a counterpart to Terry Jones in the Islamic world burns a Bible, does all hell break loose? No, it doesn't. And that speaks to the scourge of the earth that is radical Islam. And my problem only with the rest of the peace-loving Muslim world is that you don't rise up and cut the cancer out of your own religion for the benefit of all mankind. But I don't have any respect, not only for the Islamic fanatics who go crazy and kill people in Afghanistan, in response to this one warped pastor burning a Koran in Gainesville, for whom I have no respect. And I have no respect for the guy we're supposed to be fighting for to save his country, the head of Afghanistan, Mohammed Karzai, who goes on the media over there and tells everybody about Terry Jones burning a copy of the Koran and ignites this within his own country. Please help me understand here, if there's anybody we ought to be supporting, anybody we ought to be applauding, anybody in the midst of this sick drama that you respect and support. Terry Jones, it's really interesting that I don't have every light lit up on the BHL phone lines here on the 50,000-watt front porch when I'm talking about a guy who's protesting radical Islamic fanatics. It's because you understand that this guy is just reprehensible in his own right, that this is not the way to do it. It's interesting. It's interesting. I've yet to have anybody say, Bud, man, you got to back this Terry Jones. You got to get on the radio and saying you ought to be up there collecting as many Korans as you can, stacking them up and lighting them on fire every single day to sound the alarm to the world. But you're not, because you know that this guy is not the one to be carrying this message. And this is not the way to have the message delivered. That said, how long do you hang in and put American military lives, our finest, on the line for Karzai in Afghanistan when he pulls a stunt like this and tells his people something they never would have known, and innocent people die, and General Petraeus says, well, he denounces Terry Jones. He's afraid to denounce Karzai because he needs him right now. But he denounces the violence and the whole thing. And I know that Petraeus is concerned that a whole bunch of our men and women are going to get killed over there if this kind of thing continues. Oh, and by the way, and we'll be talking about this more on BHL, do you know what Terry Jones wants to do next? He wants to put the Prophet Muhammad on trial. Oh, that'll be good. His next 15 seconds of fame. At what cost? And to what end? 729 on BHL. Good morning.
I need mechanics I trust to keep my car up and running, and the Sears Auto Center's got them. They have ASE certified technicians, so my car always gets expert maintenance from mechanics I can count on.
April is National Car Care Month, and with winter behind us, we want to make sure you're ready to hit the road this spring. So come in now and save $40 on a spring maintenance package. Plus save on all Michelin tires, and save an additional $70 after mail-in rebate with a purchase of 4. Visit SearsAuto.com for more great deals. Sears Auto Center. Exclusions apply. See store for details.
Investing in bonds involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Income may be subject to state, local, or federal alternative minimum tax.
How many investments can give you a regular, attractive, and predictable stream of income? How many of those investments can give you income that's exempt from federal, state, and local taxes, too? Well, there's only one investment that can give you these things: municipal bonds. Municipal bonds offer a potentially great tax break for investors. Right now, Hanyon & Walsh is offering their comprehensive bond guide free to the first 500 investors who call now. Do you have $10,000 or more to invest? Do you want to earn triple tax-free income that could far exceed the return you earn on other fixed income investments? Be one of the first 500 callers right now and get this comprehensive bond guide free. For your free bond guide, call 1-800-929-1929. That's 1-800-929-1929. 1-800-929-1929.
Hanyon & Walsh, Inc., member of FINRA, SIPC.
Bud Henninger Live continues with news from the Fox Orlando News Center on 540 WFLA.
From the David Moss Volkswagen Lee Road Traffic Center, seeing that slow traffic build up eastbound along I-4 as you make your way from the 408 into Colonial Drive. Also slow moving in the westbound direction of the interstate, approaching 434 into Lee Road, and slow going westbound along the 408 from Dean Road into 436. Also very heavy approaching I-4. Reports of traffic lights out along Colonial Drive in between Lake Pickett Road and the 408 to expect some slow traffic through this area as well. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bright.
Traffic on Air Online, a service of the Florida Lottery. Florida Lottery players, this week's Powerball jackpot is up to $218 million. The next drawing is Wednesday, April 6th, so get your tickets now. And don't forget to add Power Play to your Powerball ticket for a chance at even more cash. Get to a Florida Lottery retailer and play Powerball today.
Workers' compensation, visit forthepeople.com. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
From 540 WFLA, Orlando's 24-hour weather channel. A couple warnings you need to be aware of. Severe thunderstorm warning in northwest Sumter until 8 a.m. Flagler also under a warning until 8 a.m. Severe thunderstorm warning for Marion County until 8:30 this morning. Keep it right here to 540 WFLA for all the updates.
Your order of scrambled eggs, toast, and bud is ready. Back to the 50,000-watt front porch on 540 WFLA.
Jen, I appreciate the update there, and we should say in a more general sense, a severe thunderstorm watch for all of Central Florida until 2 o'clock this afternoon. This frontal system is going to work its way through the entire peninsula, kind of from the northwest to the southeast, and we're a ways away from taking whatever kind of a hit we're going to in the immediate Orlando area, so we should get most of the rush hour behind us, but it's already an issue, as indicated by what we've reported on Doppler and the warnings that you just heard from Jenna to the north and west of here. So we'll continue to follow it all for you here on the 50,000-watt front porch, where we wake you up right, here where God and country are honored and old-fashioned American values never go out of style, and where it is great to be back with you after a couple of days out on the West Coast. More on that a little bit later on. This situation with trying to water down, gut, and undo the small class size amendment and thwart the will of the people, because we voted for this. We made it a constitutional amendment that there be limits, upper limits on class sizes, so that we didn't wind up with schools and classrooms turning into warehouses for kids, recognizing the fact that there's only so much one teacher can do. And I've talked to teachers. My daughter-in-law is a teacher, and she'll readily tell you that when you keep on adding kids like this, it's simple math. You divide it all up, and she's got less time to be with each of her students, less opportunity for personal contact, one-on-one teaching, and less of an opportunity for learning. It's as simple as that. And the people said, when we voted for a constitutional amendment, and I think it was 2002, and reaffirmed with another amendment that failed, that wanted to water this whole thing down, and last November, on Election Day, we said we want the right size classes for our kids. We want this kind of protection. If you're going to save money somewhere, save it somewhere else. There's lots of savings to be had in the educational system and every other aspect of government in the state of Florida. But we voted for the provisions of the small class size amendment. Now implement it. Stop trying to undo it. Stop trying to thumb your nose at the people. And I'm taking on the Republican-controlled legislature here because they've got the votes. And right now, they are trying to engineer an end around the small class size amendment because they think it costs too much money. They think it's too much of a burden on the state. It's too much of a burden on local school districts. It's not. It's a matter of priorities. Tighten up and save money somewhere else, and respect the people who hired you and can fire you. Do you know what's going on? Listen to this. Listen to this. What they want to do is redefine hundreds of courses as not core classroom courses that would be protected under the provisions of the small class size amendment, and have them downgraded and designated as extracurricular activities. And that opens the door to an unlimited number of students. How in the world is that right? How in the world does that reflect the expressed will of the people and the original approval of the constitutional amendment for small class sizes? How is that not a thwarting of the will of the people? How is this not something that ought to make you inclined to want to throw anybody out of office who's trying to engineer this end around? It's unbelievable. Here's what it says in this article I've got in the local paper. 2/3 of the 849 core classes offered in elementary, middle, and high schools would be downgraded under this provision they're trying to get through in the legislature to extracurricular status, allowing an unlimited number of students. And basic reading, math, and science courses, still labeled core, could exceed caps spelled out in the amendment approved by voters in 2002 and reaffirmed in a referendum last fall. Just by way of reminder, the amendment calls for strict class size limits of 18 students in kindergarten through 3rd grade, 22 in 4th through 8th, and 25 in high school. It also states that the restrictions do not apply to extracurricular classes, and there is your end around. Isn't that lovely? Ricky from Apopka, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
What do you think?
There's your, there's your governor and there's the GOP. We have $3 billion in cuts right now, but yet, I mean, I thought you supported this guy, bud. I thought you thought Rick Scott was the man.
Well, I got to tell you, I like some things Rick Scott's doing. There are some things I don't, and I call him on it. If you listen to me, if nothing else, agree or disagree, I'm intellectually honest, and I don't circle the wagons along political lines here. I mean, I will take people to task, individual by individual, event by event, and issue by issue, and I do not like what I see here. Now, right now, this is kind of being engineered by the Republican leadership in the legislature, so they're the ones wearing the blackest hats right now.
Oh, he'll sign it, though. And, you know, the funny part about it is that we've been sitting here talking about how Rick Scott wants to privatize education. That's exactly what he's trying to do. He doesn't care about these kids, but he just wants to cut $3 billion out of education. Now he expects teachers to perform under merit pay, work miracles, but now he's going to give them more students. This guy's a nut job.
Well, merit pay I'm fine with, but thwarting the will of the people as expressed in these class size amendments that were passed, I don't respect anyone who is trying to do that. I don't. And you shouldn't either. Here's Dave in Orlando. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Bud. Hey, Bud, I agree with you. Will of the people. And, you know, these guys got a whole bunch on their plate besides this to be worrying about this, which I don't really understand why they're even focused on even attempting to do this. Have them focus, like you said, on the administrative aspect if they want to save money and, you know, and move on. I mean, I agree with you. Some things I like, but when they're spending their time on this, and there's a whole bunch on their plate that they have to address, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Tom sees it another way out of Orlando. What's up, Tom?
Yeah, but I think you're wrong. I think when the legislature or people petition to put things on the Constitution to vote on, I think the majority are, I just think they're voted on and approved by ignorant people.
Well, wait, whoa. Well, then change the rules, okay? But when you're playing by the rules in place at a given time, you've got to follow the rules of the game, or you've got a prescription for chaos, Tom. And we've now raised the bar to 60% on amendments. But back then it was 50%. The will of the people be done. We hire these representatives and a representative Republican, and we can fire them, too, and we should in this situation if this continues. Zach and Davenport, quickly, please.
Great. I think this is something, you know, that needs to be brought up. However, I don't think this has any right being an amendment at all, or even being in the Constitution at all. It should be something that's a core value or something that you're not going to change, like the right to bear arms or something like that. This doesn't really have a place in there for me, I think.
Well, it is in there, Zach, and it was put in there because people were frustrated and desperate. Because the class sizes kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and we didn't have any control over it. So we put the hammer down, we voted it in, and now they continue this withering effort to thwart the will of the people. And they're at it again, and I wanted you to know. 742 on BHL.
From the David Moss Volkswagen Lee Road Traffic Center, seeing a slow ride eastbound along I-4 as you make your way from Cayley Avenue through downtown into Colonial Drive. We're also slow going in the westbound direction of I-4 just before 434 into Lee Road. Westbound along the 408 is slow moving from Dean Road into 436, also very heavy approaching I-4. No reported delays in either direction of 528, and we're in good shape in both directions of the Greenway. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bright.
From 540 WFLA, Orlando's 24-hour weather channel, about 15 minutes away from a severe thunderstorm warning expiring for northwest Sumter County as well as Flagler County. Marion County under a severe thunderstorm warning till 8:30, and all of Central Florida under a thunderstorm watch until 2 p.m.
Good morning, I'm Michelle Morello. Coming up in your 8 o'clock news, some wild weather in store for Central Florida today. Seminole County investigators searching for a gunman that shot a man in the street in Longwood, and immigrants pleading with lawmakers not to pass their new immigration bill.
All right, and the showers and the thunderstorms on Doppler radar right now. The big red line holding up, headed this way. Right now it's around the Ocala area and headed toward Orlando. Can anyone defend what they're trying to do to the small class size amendment? 407-916-5400. I'll give you a shot on the radio, but give me a break on this. Hey, you deserve the best with Stanley Steamer. You're always going to get it. Stanley Steamer's the industry leader in cleaning carpet, tile, and grout and upholstery as well. And at our house, we've always been impressed with the quality of work that Mark Gellner and his crews do with Stanley Steamer in Central Florida. You're going to love them. Put them to the test. Have them out to clean your home or your office. And when you do, say, hey, can I have that Bud special? They'll say absolutely, and it'll get you 20% right off the bill. You'll be dealing with the best. You get 20% off. Ask for the Bud Special. Stanley Steamer, 1-800-STEAMER. It's 1-800-STEAMER. Online, StanleySteamer.com.
Traffic on air, online, a service of Allstate, where safe drivers can save 45% or more. Are you a safe driver? Get Allstate today. Call a local Allstate agent at 888-ALLSTATE or visit Allstate.com. Dollar for dollar, no one protects you like Allstate.
If you run a business, you know your financial results are directly linked to the performance of your people. Hello, friends. Jim Nance here. Every team wants to operate at peak performance, and now you can with the proven workforce optimization solution from Insperity. This powerful combination of HR and business solutions is the most comprehensive business performance offering in the marketplace, delivering administrative relief, better benefits, reduced liabilities, and a systematic way to improve productivity. And since your business is like no other, this solution is customized to fit your unique company needs. If you're ready to make your company run better, grow faster, and make more money, call 800-465-3800 or visit Insperity.com and meet with your Insperity Business Performance Advisor today. It's what we do. Insperity, inspiring business performance.
This portion of 540 WFLA is brought to you by Trustco Bank.
I got to tell you, there's nothing like Colorcrete when it comes to protecting your home or any building, an apartment building, a church, any place that traditionally you would paint is a candidate for Colorcrete. And you should never paint again, because Colorcrete is the great alternative to paint, and it is made right here in Central Florida by some folks I want you to get to know who are salt of the earth, and they've been serving us for 50 years. We're talking about the folks who run Colorcrete of Central Florida. Jim Dawson and his family and his great crews, they're just marvelous, and they have a product like none other that is so superior to paint it isn't even close. Paint can't compete with Colorcrete. On every Colorcrete job, unlike with a paint job, you're going to get a 25-year guarantee. 25-year guarantee, which of course includes a protective barrier against wind-driven rain. It'll prevent mildew, put a stop to peeling, chalking, and cracking. And so affordable is Colorcrete. I've always been amazed by the price. They've even made it better and more attractive now by reducing it 10% in this tough economy, and they'll give you a free pressure cleaning of your driveways and sidewalks. You're going to love Colorcrete. They Colorcreted our daughter's home. They handed her the 25-year guarantee. Carolyn's still smiling. You'll be smiling, too. Call for a free estimate. Colorcrete, 407-851-3442. 407-851-3442. Online, colorcreteusa.com.
Rush Limbaugh. New York Times columnist Nicholas Kristof recently described the painful-to-read experience of a young girl in Bangladesh under Sharia law. As 14-year-old Henna was gagged, beaten, and raped by an older male cousin. The rapist's wife discovered them. She directed her anger at the 14-year-old, beating her again. Next, the local imam issued a fatwa against Henna, pronouncing her guilty of adultery. A village court sentenced the 14-year-old rape victim to a public whipping of 100 lashes, and after the 70th lash, the young girl collapsed. A week later, she died. Some accounts point to internal bleeding. In a final act of inhumanity, the doctors listed her death as a suicide. By the way, her parents were forced to watch their daughter's fatal whipping on orders from the imam. The execution of a 14-year-old Henna, guilty of being raped, has caused a public outcry in Bangladesh. But she's not unique. We've learned of the atrocities other women have faced, like the Iranian woman sentenced to death by stoning for supposedly committing adultery. These women, victims of Sharia law, will never be cause celebs among liberal feminazis who are afraid to confront radical Islamists. And it's doubtful their plight will be held up as an example of the savage mindset we face in the war on terror, because that might conflict with the Obama regime's Muslim outreach goals. But the evil we face is real, and it must be defeated, or ultimately it will demand our submission.
If you like painting and saving, ask Sherwin-Williams during our 3-day super sale. Save 40% on paints and stains April 8th through the 10th. With 40% off our great paints and stains and 30% off painting supplies, you can give your whole home a color makeover. But hurry, these savings are so super, they won't be around for long. Find your nearest store at sherwinwilliams.com/sale. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Arthritis alert! Arthritis alert! Now, there's a pain-killing cream that reduces arthritis pain on contact. It's called Pain Buster 2. Pain Buster 2 has a rare combination of pain-killing powerhouses to provide deep, penetrating heat to joints and muscles that need it most. To help relieve stiffness and improve mobility, thousands of arthritis pain sufferers have been amazed at the way Pain Buster 2 has helped them live normal and active lives. Pain Buster 2 is available at CVS, Walmart Supercenters, and Walgreens everywhere.
Okay, gang, we've got severe weather coming our way. Here is the latest warning until 8:45 this morning. A severe thunderstorm warning for Lake and Volusia County till 8:45. Severe thunderstorm warnings in effect until 8:30 for Marion County. In effect until 8 o'clock, which is only 10 minutes from now, for Sumter and Flagler counties. And a severe thunderstorm watch for all of Central Florida until 2 p.m. Potentially severe weather here for everybody, and we'll watch it closely and keep you apprised throughout the day here on BHL. Just a little more on this small class size amendment, because I'm going to watch this closely. This has, this has a ways to go in the legislature, and this thing needs to go down in flames. This end run aimed at thwarting the will of the people, as expressed in the passage and the reaffirmation of the small class size amendment, is just unconscionable here. If lawmakers have their way, more than 550 courses that are now considered core would become electives. These include Latin, many foreign languages, statistics, trigonometry. Oh, it goes on and on and on and on and on. And when they change the status here and rename a particular course of study, and it achieves an extracurricular status, all bets are off, because then you can have an unlimited number of people in the class, students in the class. And that is what we tried to protect against. We, the people. Do you hear us in Tallahassee? You'll most certainly keep hearing us from the 50,000-watt front porch. Hey, you want to win some prizes on a Tuesday morning? The Budman's going to open up the prize closet. We're going to play the Budman's Brain Buster game. The Budman's Brain Buster question. If you get the right answer, we'll turn you into a winner. 407-916-5400. Toll free 1-866-916-5400. In 60 seconds, the Brain Buster question. Don't miss it. Right now, real-time traffic and weather together on this potentially very stormy morning.
From the David Moss Volkswagen Lee Road Traffic Center, seeing a slow ride eastbound along I-4 as you make your way from Cayley Avenue through downtown into Colonial Drive. We're also slow going in the westbound direction of I-4 just before 434 into Lee Road. Westbound along the 408 is slow moving from Dean Road into 436, also very heavy approaching I-4. No reported delays in either direction of 528, and we're in good shape in both directions of the Greenway. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bright.
All right, Courtney, thank you. And again, we have the prospect of severe weather throughout Central Florida. And stay tuned. We've been talking about it, and we will continue to do so. But right now, we want to play the Budman's Brain Buster game. And the question is coming up right now. And for our winner, Jenna, what's the prize?
Oh, we have a signed copy of Mike Huckabee's novel, A Simple Government. Good old Huck.
Yeah. Okay, he's in the mix among the Republican presidential wannabes. And by the way, we're going to be talking Republican presidential politics, Trump and Kane in the next hour. You'll want to be with us for that. We have one line open, toll-free, 1-866-916-5400. If you're getting a busy signal, wait for an open line and a wrong answer and the buzzer, and then grab that line quickly, and you might well be a winner. Lots of late-round winners. 407-916-5400. Grab that toll-free, 1-866-916-5400. 5,400. In a game I found so awkward that it was almost unwatchable, the college basketball season came to an end last night. UConn beat Butler. UConn's coach Jim Calhoun became the oldest coach to win the NCAA championship at age 68. He won his third title since 1999, and that makes Calhoun only the fifth coach to have made it to the top 3 or more times. Now the Budman's Brainbuster question for you. Name one of the other 4 coaches who have been NCAA basketball championship winners 3 or more times. There are 4 of them. All I need from you is 1, and you're our winner. Let's go to our caller on line 3. Line 3, name 1. Line 3.
Bobby Knight?
Yes. Yes, you're right. Bobby Knight. You've won it.
All right, fantastic.
You got the signed copy of the Mike Huckabee book. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Matt from Kissimmee.
Well, how about you? Yeah, do you know who the other ones might be?
I believe, what was the one of Kentucky? Adolph.
Rupp.
I forget his name.
Rupp, John Wooden of UCLA, and Mike Krzyzewski, who's still at it for Duke, along with Bobby Knight. And now Jim Calhoun has joined the club. 3 or more titles in March Madness. You hang on, my friend. We'll get you the info and get you the book, okay?
All right, thanks a lot, bud.
All right, hang on the line. Congratulations.
Another happy contest winner on WFLA.
Jenna, I got away for a couple of days out to the West Coast with Linda to join some old friends for a remarkable weekend and a remarkable set of experiences we'll get into, time permitting here. But I wanted to thank Simon Conway and Cale Raymaker for handling things here and holding court on the 50,000-watt front porch, and for you, in your inimitable style, holding it all together as only you can do. Thanks a lot.
Oh, no, absolutely. It was a good time. We always love having Cale and Simon in, and we missed you, though. We definitely missed you. It's a different job when you're gone, definitely.
Well, it takes a little getting used to this. You know, these guys will come in and just do it once in a while. There's a lot of moving parts in this show, and I respect them because I understand the challenges that they face, because it sometimes gets away from me. But, you know, we went out to the West Coast, to Southern California, hung out around Long Beach, because an old college buddy of mine who was my roommate, who now has become a renowned cardiologist who's also chief of staff of a huge hospital out there, has always dreamed of being an entertainer. And Dr. Mark Miller finally decided to live his dream while he still could. And there's a lesson in that for all of us, you know, not putting off things that we've always dreamed of doing, because you never know when an opportunity presented might not reappear again. Mark decided, okay, I'm going to do it. I've got the resources to do it. He bought out a swanky restaurant, turned it into a nightclub for a night, and hired an orchestra. And he said, I'll only do this if you'll come out here and be my Ed McMahon. So I was kind of his MC and his setup guy. And he's a world-class show tune singer and a world-class comedian who doubles people over with laughter. And he put on this show called Miller at the Madison, Madison being the name of the venue, packed it with well over 200 people, friends, family, associates, and his old college singing group, the Colgate 13, of which I was a part. He led that group when we were there in the 60s at Colgate, and I was his assistant. And I was his assistant again this weekend. And we had the absolute time of our lives, and we have wonderful pictures and videos on the website you might want to check out on the Bud page of 540WFLA.com. We'll talk more about it. But coming up, we're going to get you up to date on big doings, budget-related, and more here on BHL 758 now.
power watches and warnings expected as the storm system progresses across the area. Police in Seminole County on the hunt for a gunman after a person was killed in an early morning shooting. They were called to the area of Lake Mobile Drive and Ronald Reagan Boulevard in Longwood after reports of a shooting. That's when they found a man dead in the street. They say he's in his 30s. He's a white male. They know who he is and say he has a history of drug abuse. When they're looking for the gunman, they do believe the shooting may have been drug-related. Immigrants are pleading with Florida lawmakers to get off their backs and let them get to work. Let's organize the latest version of a legal immigration bill in the state Senate would treat Hispanics and other dark-skinned Floridians as second-class citizens. You're viewing people who are undocumented as less than human and placing them and our citizens, Hispanic and Latinos or darker-skinned people, okay, in a position to be profiled based on race, color, and creed, and not viewed as human beings. Rita says the immigration bill is not fair for Hispanics, and Anglos would be screaming that they were the targets. With the 2011 fiscal year budget still in doubt, House Republicans unveiled their plan for the 2012 budget later today. Jared Halpern previews from Washington. The plan drafted by House Budget Committee Chairman Paul Ryan aims to cut $4 trillion in deficit spending in just 10 years without raising revenue. We're not going to go down the path of raising taxes on people, raising taxes on the economy. We're going to go after the source of the problem, and that is spending. The ranking Democrat on Ryan's Budget Committee, Chris Van Hollen, agrees spending should be cut, but adds, we think we should cut some of the subsidies from the big oil companies, the taxpayer subsidies. They prefer to start with things like education. A GOP plan Monday to survive hearings and a vote in the Democratic-controlled Senate. A Brevard County man facing a series of charges after leading police on a chase with his 8-year-old son in the car. Police had pulled Rodney Philpott over initially after he made an illegal U-turn on I-95. But instead of just taking the ticket, he took off. Troopers followed him. He eventually crashed into a median, then tried to get out and run from the wrecked car, but he was caught. Police say his son was in the car but was not seriously injured. The boy was turned over to his mother's custody at the hospital. 540 WSLA News Time now 8:02. Sports is coming up. From the David Moss Volkswagen Road Traffic Center, eastbound I-4 is very slow from Open Keys. Make your way through downtown, easing up right around Colonial Drive. Also slow going in the westbound direction approaching 434 into Lee Road. Westbound along the Thornton Lane is very slow from Rounds Road into the Greenway. And remaining heavy just past Goldenrod. You watch out for a reported wreck along Giant Parkway at Oldburn Garden Road that may slow you down as well. On the traffic center, I'm Corey Gray. Traffic on air online, the service of Shula's 347 Grill in the Westin Hotel Lake Near. Enjoy a great happy hour with 347 drink specials and appetizers and 2-for-1 mixed drink. And brunch every Sunday features the make your own Bloody Mary bar. Eat like a legend. Online, go to DonSchulas.com. Don't bite. Visit forthepeople.com. Morgan & Morgan. For the people.
From 540 WFLA Orlando's 24-hour weather channel, all of Central Florida under a thunderstorm watch until 2 p.m. today. Right now, severe thunderstorm warning for Sumter, just extended until 8:30 today. Marion also under a severe thunderstorm warning till 8:30, along with Lake and Volusia counties until 8:45.